Hi, this is Chris Palomino with azhomeshow.tv. I'm also a realtor with AZ & Associates. Today I have Adrianna Ireta with Colorado Insurance, who's going to talk to us about why it's important to have adequate insurance coverage on your home when you purchase your home. Hi Adrianna, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi Chris. First, thank you for inviting me. And a little bit about myself. My name is Adrianna Ireta. I am from Mexico City. I've been here about 10 years and I've been doing insurance for the last 6 years. My expertise is home insurance, so I'm really happy to talk about why it's important.
Okay, great. So when I purchased my home, I didn't know anything about homeowners coverage, homeowners insurance, and so I just blindly chose an insurance policy without actually doing any type of review or studying about different homeowner insurance policies. Can you tell our audience a little bit about why it's important about choosing the right insurance coverage for your home?
So I think that what happened to you, it happens to a lot of people. It's very common that when we buy a home, we don't take the moment to review the coverage. And it is very important to make sure that we have sufficient dwelling coverage. The dwelling coverage is going to rebuild your home in the event that something happens to it.
Okay. So how do you know that you have sufficient coverage on the home when you're purchasing the home?
Usually we have to make an estimate on how much it's going to cost to rebuild your home. But in addition, we like to put an extra 25% that will go towards inflation in case that something happens with time.
Okay. Now, let's say that a person purchases an insurance policy and they don't have adequate coverage. What happens then?
Well, if they don't have sufficient coverage, they're going to have to pay out of pocket the rest of the money.
You know, recently I was working on a project where a lady didn't have sufficient coverage on her home, and so her house caught fire, and she only received a minimal amount from the insurance company, and it wasn't a lot of money, and that wasn't enough to pay the expenses. Do you see that happening to a lot of homeowners?
I have heard about some cases. I don't want to brag about myself, but usually not with me. I really like to make sure that they are properly covered. But I do see some cases where they don't have sufficient coverage, or also they don't have sufficient liability. So it's very important when you buy a policy, you understand what's included in your policy. Part of it is the dwelling, but also it's going to include medical payments to others and liability in case someone is hurting your property.
So if somebody gets hurt at the property, they could also take a claim out on the house?
Correct.
Okay, tell me, how does that work?
Well, the policy, Part A is going to cover the dwelling and Part B is going to cover the liability. So usually policies can go with 100,000, 200,000, or 300,000. Mm-hmm. And that will cover in the event someone is hurt in your property and they sue you, the liability will protect you. So
one thing that happened to us that we weren't aware of in the dwelling coverage was that we had a haboob come in. And you know, Arizona is very well known for these monsoon storms in the summer. And so a haboob came in and lifted up all our roof tiles. And we didn't know that there's a certain time frame that roof coverage they can cover the roof repair for a certain time. Is there an industry practice where so many years to file a claim?
Usually you need to file a claim within 1 year of the occurrence.
Okay, 1 year of the occurrence?
Yeah.
Is there a particular age of the roof that you have to have on a new home?
That is going to depend on the carrier, but usually when we do the underwriting, we're going to ask that question. And it is very important that if you have done an update on the roof, you let us know, because that has a lot to do with the pricing. But usually that's part of the underwriting, and some companies are going to allow older homes, some companies are going to prefer newer homes, but that's why you go with a broker that has a lot of companies.
Okay. What kind of claims have you seen in the past that are more common and frequent for homeowners?
Okay, so I don't know if you remember the day that we had the hail about, I want to say 8 years ago. So a lot of people needed to get their roof replaced.
Yeah.
I have seen a couple times fire, probably just like 2 times, but most of the times it was due to the roofing.
Yeah, I remember that happened on October 5th, 2010.
Oh wow, you have good memory.
Yeah, that was a horrible day. We rented a car, and that day the car got damaged. It looked like a ping pong ball not a ping pong ball, a golf ball, because all the hail hit the car, and we were like, wow, that was a freak hailstorm.
And I actually want to Usually the deductible from your policy is going to be different than the deductible from hail. So it is very important that you pay attention, that you have a low deductible on hail, because you don't want to have some companies make you to put a percentage of the dwelling. So you can end up with a $3,000, $4,000 deductible for hail. So it is very important to pay attention to have
the deductible?
Low deductible on that.
What would you say is a good deductible on a home?
The standard deductible is $1,000. So I think that's
$1,000 is probably sufficient coverage for a deductible?
Yes, that's something that you can come out of pocket in the event that something happens. You don't want to have a $5,000 deductible.
Now, I've seen that, on my insurance policy, I was given a choice of $5,000 insurance deductible. Why would it not be a good idea to get a $5,000 insurance deductible? And what's the purpose of having a $5,000 insurance deductible?
So the deductible is the money that you're going to pay out of your pocket before the company pays the claim. So the higher the deductible, the lower your payment is going to be.
Oh, okay.
But if it's something that it's example $10,000 to fix, and then you have to pay $5,000, it's going to be very hard for anyone to come up with the $5,000. So that's why it's good to have $1,000. Well, I recommend $1,000, but it's also $2,500. There's different deductibles, but I suggest to have $1,000 on a home.
What do insurance companies look at when they're trying to, when a homeowner is trying to get insurance on the home?
We want to look at claims history. Most companies are credit-based when it comes to home, and also number of occupants, and the age of the home is very important, and also the square footage.
Okay.
But it really depends. The credit is very important. Sometimes you see very big homes, and the amount it can be very close to a smaller home if you have a bad credit. So
that's kind of surprising. Why would someone's bad credit or someone having a lower credit score affect them in a homeowner's policy?
They probably they probably assume that someone who has a bad credit is going to be less caring. So.
Okay. Yeah, so that translates is like, if you don't take care of your credit, then you probably won't be taking care of the house.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. I understand that. Okay, well, thank you so much. How can our audience get in contact with you if they're having any questions about insurance?
They can contact me. My phone number is 480-280-5142. And I also have auto insurance, business insurance, commercial insurance, life, and I'll be happy to take a look at their policy and make sure they're well covered. Thank
awesome.
You.
All right, thank you everyone for watching. This is Chris Palomino with Arizona Home Show TV, .tv. And also, if you have any real estate questions or looking to buy a new or used resale home, give me a call, 623-261-1700. Again, I'm Chris Palomino, and you have a fabulous day.
Bye.
Bye.